Daniel Šturm. Marketing must drive new business. Daniel Šturm, head of marketing at one of the largest IT groups in Central Europe, had 300 cars branded and driving around the country. And yet he argues that a brand is only good if it makes customer acquisition cheaper next year. No philosophy, numbers. We would like to inform you that this voice recording was created by artificial intelligence. If you had to explain Seyfor to someone completely outside the industry, what would you say?
I say a large Central European IT company, and I always add a product so they have something to hold on to. Idoklad, Money ERP, Dotikačka. Sometimes it clicks, often it doesn't at all. But there's nobody around me these days who doesn't know what Seyfor is.
How hard is it to build a brand in B2B?
It follows the same rules as B2C, you just have a smaller target group, and that's an advantage. You're not aiming at everyone, you're aiming precisely. In marketing, we look after 16 business units. Every product has different segments, and we say something slightly different to each group. That lets us tailor the message precisely to each audience.
So the goal isn't for everyone to know the brand?
And that's fine. The woman at the till in Jabka doesn't need to know Seyfor, even though she often comes across it through Dotikačka in a restaurant. But among business owners, our target group, we want everyone to know us. And then there are employees and candidates. For them, the brand has to feel big, reliable, and safe. People apply to us saying, I want to work at Seyfor because I see it as a stable company. That helps us attract people who wouldn't normally come to us.
You say marketing should bring in leads, not build brand awareness. Why do leads matter so much to you?
Marketing must drive new business. That's the only reason we do it. And when we come up with something for the brand, it's so that the next lead is cheaper. Let me give you an example. Imagine acquiring one customer costs 3,700 Czech crowns. You invest half your budget in performance and half in the brand gradually works for you. Next year it might be 3,600 Czech crowns per customer. Over and over again, it's simply business.
And employees?
HR marketing follows the same rules as B2B. We know exactly what one CV for a specific role costs us. When we build the brand well, that price goes down. Employees are business too, just phrased differently.
So even company cars bring in leads?
Absolutely. Altogether, we have 300 branded cars, which is 300 billboards driving around the country. It's something that bubbles away over time, but it isn't enough for people just to see the brand. A brand has two basic parameters, awareness and associations. If someone says Seyfor to you and you say, yes, I've seen that somewhere, probably on a car, that isn't enough. You need to know what to associate with the brand. That's why we communicate from different angles, building several mental associations with Seyfor at once. That's the only way a brand has a chance of sticking in the mind.
When Seyfor buys companies, it says it will preserve their identity. What does that mean in practice?
It varies. With acquisitions abroad, we say straight away that we won't change the name for a year or two. Identity is more about the internal culture of the company. We don't even have the capacity to walk in and say, from now on you'll have the same culture as everyone else. We buy companies at a pace that wouldn't allow it. And above all, we'd lose the principles the company is built on. We don't change cultures, and we don't change local habits. We come to centralize the things where we see the point, marketing standards, financial reporting, and so on.
But the rename usually comes anyway.
Mostly yes, and the people inside take it hard. They have an emotional bond with the original brand. They remember it from the start. It's a bit like marrying off your daughter. She doesn't carry your surname afterwards either. But that moment only lasts a few weeks, a few months at most. I've lost count of how many times I've heard our brand is far stronger than Seyfor over the past 2 or 3 years. And every time we renamed that daughter, it turned out nothing had actually happened.
When does it tip over?
The moment people from that company come to a client who says, yes, I know Seyfor, it happens after a few months. The brand already opens doors today.
What changes first in a newly acquired company?
It has to be integrated into the group financially. That's the basis, otherwise we can't manage it. On the marketing side, we set standards. We start introducing OKRs and plans. We provide central management of webinars. We help with digital campaigns, and we help them adjust their website. We hand over the things we've already worked out so they get up to standard quickly and start generating leads. My coaching teacher used to say that learning from mistakes is a good approach, but only an idiot learns from their own mistakes. And we've made plenty of them. For every B2B area, we have a specialist who spent years learning so that they can pass on what they learned. It would be foolish not to use that.
Seyfor is an IT company in the middle of the biggest technological shift in decades. How do you see AI? As a threat or an opportunity?
It can't be overestimated. The question is how quickly it all arrives. If you talk to Martin Kudana, he'll tell you June 2026. I think it'll be next year. And there are people in the company who say 5 years. But you can't overestimate it. Within a few months, that beast really will be able to do absolutely everything. And it will be able to do more than we can.
So it's an opportunity for Seyfor.
We have a client base that doesn't have the capacity to build its own custom AI models and at the same time is nervous about data traveling across the Atlantic and back. Companies will need these things from us. AI specialists will stay expensive for a long time, possibly more and more so. Seyfor can afford them and will share their services across dozens, hundreds, thousands of customers. A company of 300 people won't have the resources for that.
Where do companies have the biggest blind spots when adopting AI?
In people. When you walk into a company and there are 20 people in the room, 1 or 2 are complete enthusiasts working with AI day and night. Then you have 2 or 3 terrorists shooting you down from every side. And then there's the silent majority, leaning one way today and the other tomorrow. Added to that is the worry about data security. Nobody wants client or company data running off somewhere. And third, companies simply don't have the resources for their own AI specialist. They're looking for a partner. There are plenty of half specialists out there promising a lot with no real experience behind it.
You've been at Seyfor for 7 years. What has changed the most in that time?
The team. Today there are 27 of us specialists for 16 business units. 1 person for digital campaigns, 1 for SEO, 1 for video, 1 for direct marketing. At the beginning I still understood who did what and when they were doing it badly. Today those people are somewhere else entirely. They've become specialists in one area and in that area they're better than anyone around them. I have to trust them.
Have you ever had to back down?
Many times.
How do you handle mistakes?
My parents never punished me for mistakes. They punished me when I hid something. Things happen. And as Mario Andretti, the famous racing driver, put it, if everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough.
Thank you very much.